We create stories, and we use techniques such as illusion, puppetry, and physical comedy to engage audiences.
The work that we make is a theatrical production that we create from the ground up. Hi, I'm Alex.
And I'm Olmsted.
And together we are
Alex and Olmsted.
We're based out of Takoma Park, Maryland.
And we make original theatrical productions
that involve puppetry and physical comedy. So we start from a completely new idea. We sketch everything out. We build the puppets, we build the props, we build the sets. We perform everything as a two-person company. And as much as we can, we try and run all our tech from onstage.
When we first have an idea for a new project, it's all we can talk about. On car rides, over coffee at breakfast.
The beginning of the process is so exciting to talk about because there are just so many things to explore. And you can't explore all of them, but at the beginning of the process, you can talk about all of them.
But in order to make the show, we then need to transition from this initial stage of boundless enthusiasm and curiosity into disciplined work.
We usually try and get down here into the workshop around 11 a.m. when we still have light and fresh air and energy. A lot of work in puppetry is building a prototype, seeing how it moves, and deciding whether it moves the way you imagined or it moves in a way that's even cooler, and then changing your idea to support that.
We have to be making decisions about everything: color, shape, size, narrative decisions, timing decisions, about just managing our day, because the time, it becomes this incredible pressure cooker.
And that, I think, is probably the most stressful time, because we're not talking about what could be, it's how can we take the things that we cherry-picked and actually present them on stage in a way that's clear and enjoyable and relatable.
The two things that I love the most about making a new show together are our long table writing sessions and building together in the workshop when we're both in a flow and the days are so full. I love that flow. We like to get to the theater early, in particular because we like to leave ourselves time to make any fixes that we might need to make. Vocal warm-ups and physical warm-ups, stretches and so on. Preparing for a show day is a mind and a body focused experience.
So it's a little like holding a baby bird, where you need to make sure that you're protecting it and that you're taking everything into consideration, but you don't want to crush it.
Right up to opening night, we are often still sitting on the stage surrounded by materials and making aspects of the show, whether it's puppets or fixing a set piece, you name it. And then there is opening night, where we reveal this creation for a paying audience. And I would say that, for me, is nothing short of a miracle.
Right, we reached opening night, but that's not like I put the final brushstroke on the painting and now we have the gallery opening and that painting is what it is. Now we're at the beginning of the next stage, which is every show we learn something new and we tweak it and tweak it and tweak it. And it's sort of never ending, which is good job security.
And also, which is more true to us, because we're growing and we're evolving and we will be changing and seeing the show differently, in addition to respecting how the audiences are responding to it and feeling about it. So allowing it to evolve feels a little more organic.
We go from every possibility to what possibilities do we actually want to include, and then right before the show, that gets whittled down even farther into what can we get done in the time that we have.
There's all of this force of energy right before the opening. It really feels like we're racing the clock to this point where we're running so fast that we're kind of hovering over the ground.
Over time, I feel like my philosophy about the work that I create has gone on a fairly big journey. We get to create everything together. We get to tweak everything together. We get to build everything together. And just knowing I can be an actor, but also make the big decisions about the show and the kind of work that I want to make has totally changed the game about how I see this type of art.
Now that we are in the thick of making it and making these shows, I'm seeing how it is this service to bring laughter to people. It's bringing strangers in a room together to engage their imagination and to laugh. And we really need to laugh.
One of the main challenges with our work is letting go of some things. Being able to say, this piece isn't working and we just need to cut it from the show is very difficult.
It's not that they're bad, it's just that they're not the right fit for this project.
Creativity
Is
the
catalyst
for
human
expression. Creativity is looking at things metaphorically or seeing an inanimate object and imagining that it has a soul and that you can empathize with that. I think creativity is vital for our audiences to engage the creative parts of their brain to see something that's abstracted, like a string and hands interacting with that string and no words.
I would say that creativity is the burning point of life. It's the space between people and relationships and how we relate to one another and how we create space together and create feelings. We love pouring that natural creative energy into stories and making theater.
Along with all the other rewards of I get to be creative every day. I get to work in the workshop every day. On show days, I get to perform and connect with audience members. That sort of audience engagement after the show is a big part of our philosophy too. It's all a reason to come together and have this experience together and also connect afterwards in person. When I make work and get to share it with people, that's the best way I know how to connect with other people. Right? I can spend all day by myself in the workshop building these things, but if you're not sharing those things with other people, they're not fully realized. So to be able to satisfy the part of my life that likes to work alone and work with my hands and make things, but also have an avenue where I can then go on stage and perform with them, that's incredibly satisfying to me. There's nothing quite as surreal as finishing the last show, greeting everyone after the show, and then striking everything and standing in the empty reset theater where not an hour and a half before you were just performing. And then all of a sudden, it's done.
We were just passing through. You were there or you weren't. We were there or we weren't.
In real life, we are two puppeteers in love who make shows about love. It's meta upon meta, where there really isn't, there's the thinnest veil.
A whisper of a veil.
Right, it's incredibly personal. It's inseparable, the art from the artist.